300 years ago, a force known as the Will of Heaven descended upon the world. As a result, countless secret realms and dangerous dungeons began appearing across the earth, altering the fabric of reality. With these dungeons came terrifying creatures, monsters of immense power spreading destruction everywhere. The world was pushed into chaos, facing an era many would later call the apocalypse. Amid the turmoil, certain individuals awakened with unique powers. These awakened beings became humanity's last hope, turning the tide against the monsters. Every person now undergoes their awakening at the age of 18, stepping into a world where strength defines survival. At the transformation ceremony, students received their awakening results. Some failed and received no occupation, while others awakened as combat or life specialization types. The awakened professions typically fell into three main categories: combat, support, and life. One student celebrated becoming a dark swordsman, a combat specialization, while another was shocked to receive a life-type role with no ability to fight. Combat types were the most respected, while life specializations were often looked down on as weak and useless. As the crowd watched, a sudden disturbance drew everyone's attention. An unusual transformation was occurring. One student was generating a surge of power never seen before, and people began whispering about a transformation anomaly. Students questioned if this could be a divine-level occupation. They were stunned. Zhong City hadn't witnessed such talent in centuries. It was said that whenever a divine-level occupation appeared, history was about to change. As the protagonist touched the awakening crystal, a massive glowing tree appeared in the sky. Its radiant presence shook both heaven and earth. He looked calmly at the crystal, acknowledging that the transformation had succeeded. The principal and teachers praised him, assuming he had awakened a divine-level combat specialization. Eager for answers, they pressed him to reveal the name of his occupation. With a slight smile, our boy Zhong calmly corrected them. His awakening wasn't a combat specialization. When asked if his occupation was support type, he calmly revealed his true awakening. He had obtained a life specialization occupation of divine level, life cultivator. He explained that his ability could enhance the growth of flowers, plants, and small animals. The announcement shocked the staff, who couldn't believe such a rare awakening resulted in a non-combat role. The principal panicked, stating that divine or not, a life specialization with no combat power was practically useless. However, another teacher reassured him that life cultivators were valuable in research, especially at divine level. Though he wouldn't be guaranteed admission anymore, the principal offered to recommend opportunities. Zhong simply smiled and responded calmly. He said he would consider it seriously. He calmly told the teachers he had something else to do and left the hall. In the crowd, students laughed and mocked him. Many had expected him to awaken a divine-level combat role, but they now saw him as just a life specialization user. Some even believed his top scores no longer mattered. Others pointed out the irony. Despite slacking off, he had been the center of attention. Now, with a life-type class, they claimed karma had caught up to him. They praised Manhwa instead, who had awakened a hidden combat specialization. As he walked away, he reflected silently. Everyone praised him. Now their eyes had changed. He realized the truth. In this world, strength alone earns respect. As others mocked his life specialization, a notification suddenly appeared before him. His awakening had triggered a system. The system confirmed his awakened role as a divine-level life cultivator and revealed something hidden. The insect catastrophe system had been successfully activated, and the initial mother insect was unlocked. Realizing this, Zhong noted how compatible his system was with his awakening. Though others saw him as weak, he knew he had accessed something far more powerful than they imagined. He introduced himself. Zhong. In his past life, he had died. Now, reincarnated into the world of Transformers, he carried the memories of his previous life and the power to change everything. After the Dark Era ended, the world was overrun by dungeons and monsters. From that day forward, only the strongest survived, and strength became the deciding force in society. Zhong, reborn as an orphan, dedicated himself to training and studying. He worked hard every day, determined to secure a future before turning 18, believing only his skills could carry him forward. But a month ago, everything changed. He unexpectedly awakened a system connected to the insect race, something no one had seen before. The system prompted him to complete the transformation to begin its activation. Zhang remembered the past, how the insect race had once devastated humanity during the Dark Era. Now, that same power was in his hands. He knew its true potential was far greater than anyone realized. Long ago, during the last great catastrophe, 9 of the 12 human kings sacrificed themselves to seal away the insect race. Since then, power has ruled the world. Only the strong can survive. Zhang clenched his fist. To him, it didn't matter where power came from. If the insect's strength could serve his purpose, he would gladly use it. Without hesitation, he chose to activate the system. As the system responded, Zhang was pulled into a strange sea dimension. Looking ahead, he accepted his new reality. If this was his world, then he was ready to conquer it without holding back. Zhang found himself standing before a massive glowing tree. His talent. He hadn't expected it to take this form. The system displayed its functions. The tree could evolve by sacrificing targets, but each could only be used once every 10 days. Special fruits would drop from kills and help fuel the tree's growth. He reviewed the abilities. Accelerated growth could boost living beings' development by 10%, and although the talents lacked combat application, each one contributed uniquely to the insect system's evolution. With the system check complete, he gave the command. He was ready. It was time to summon the mother insect. The system initiated the summoning of the mother insect. Dark energy erupted around Zhang. A powerful force began to emerge from the void. A system appeared, confirming success. He had summoned a catastrophic level entity, the mother insect, 9 miasma wings. The colossal creature manifested before him, its wings glowing with deadly energy. Zhang stared up at it. His path. The system provided details on the summoned creature, 9 miasma wings. Originating from the abyss, it was once a catastrophic threat that vanished in the Third Era. Now fully loyal, its intimacy level was at 100%, but it hadn't consumed anything yet. Zhang was stunned by the creature's enormous size. The insect, referring to itself as Little Nine, expressed hunger and affection, awaiting commands from its master. The system explained that growth rate had increased by 10%, and while sacrifices could enhance progress, the initial upgrade wouldn't require any sacrifice. Without hesitation, he decided to begin upgrading immediately, ready to take full advantage of the system's potential. A surge of energy erupted before Zhang, vibrant and wild. It seemed like the insect had begun evolving. He braced himself as a powerful formed before him. From the dark energy, the insect had taken on a new form, deadly and elegant. The system confirmed it. This was a catastrophic level transformation. Her combat capabilities had reached a terrifying threshold, and her strength now rivaled top-tier occupations. Zhang stared in disbelief as a bright glow surrounded Little Nine. Little Nine proudly announced its evolution. Zhang was shocked. It had transformed into a humanoid. The system revealed the new skills: Poisonous Barrier, Backlash, Frenzy, and more. Little Nine's capabilities had now reached a terrifying level. In her new form, Little Nine smiled innocently and made a chilling request. She wanted to consume flesh and blood. Zhang analyzed the synergy between his occupation and the system. As a life cultivator, he could boost the mother insect's growth and consumption, while her backlash ability could enhance all his attributes by 20%. He realized that as long as he continued killing monsters and feeding the insect, he could build a powerful army. However, the system also hinted at the origin, the abyss, a catastrophic disaster clearly keeping secrets. Understanding the danger, Zhang chose caution. His abilities weren't something to flaunt. If anyone learned the truth, it could put his life at risk. Still, hiding wasn't in his nature. He decided to grow stronger in silence, using his life specialization and the mother insect's toxins to devour monsters and gain power, until the day he could reveal his strength without fear. As Zhang stepped forward, something strange began to ripple beneath his feet. Little Nine alerted him. She sensed something abnormal approaching. Suddenly, Zhang's eyes widened. A man stood before Zhang. The man asking if he was the one responsible for the transformation phenomenon that the entire city had just witnessed. Zhang immediately sensed danger. This man's aura was overwhelming. He was easily at master-level strength, possibly higher. From afar, the crowd watched anxiously. Whispers spread about his identity and transformation level, with some fearing he had come for Zhang. Zhang noticed the pressure had been constant ever since the man arrived. Yet he hadn't attacked, just stared in silence. He studies the pressure and wonders if he's being tested. Little Nine materializes beside him. She declares the stranger both a threat and a tempting meal. Her urge to devour flashes through Zhang's mind, forcing him to stiffen. He realizes things could escalate instantly. The system warns that the target offers high devouring value and that the mother insect is about to act. As Little Nine sensed danger, her aura flared up violently. The surrounding students panicked. Her energy was overwhelming, and it felt like she was preparing to attack. Zhang realized the situation had escalated. If a target's devouring value was too low, the mother insect's aggression would increase uncontrollably. He quickly understood the man's true intention, testing Zhang's strength through pressure. But that pressure had triggered Little Nine's instinct to attack. He now needed to feed her monsters fast to suppress her aggression. A system window appeared. Zhang had successfully suppressed the mother insect, though its devouring value remained at 0. He knew he had to feed it soon, but for now, he had control. The man praised him for enduring the test right after completing his job transformation. He called Zhang worthy of a divine-level professional, declaring his future limitless. He respectfully asked for his name. The man introduced himself as Jai Gang, the leader of the Night Watchers. Jai Gang admired Zhang's strength and invited him to join their ranks. Though Zhang was relieved he hadn't been exposed, he knew this encounter would change everything. Zhang was surprised upon hearing the name the Night Watchers. He quickly learned that they were dedicated to defending against monsters and beast tides. Whenever danger emerged, they were the first to investigate or eliminate it. Unlike most, the Night Watchers weren't afraid of death. Their members constantly faced high-risk missions, and Zhang saw that this environment aligned perfectly with his goals. With his system and abilities, the Night Watchers offered exactly what he needed: real combat, devouring, and growth. This organization was perfect for him. Jai Gang reassured Zhang that any negative rumors about the Night Watchers were outdated. Although the death rate was high, divine-level recruits would receive full support and resources. But Zhang needed no convincing. Without hesitation, he extended his hand and declared that he was willing to join. He vowed to restore the Night Watchers' former glory. Jai Gang was stunned. He hadn't expected such immediate acceptance. As Jai Gang stood speechless, Zhang silently thought to himself, "His insects will rely on you." Zhang accepted the invitation but excused himself, stating he had something urgent to do. Meanwhile, Little Nine repeatedly echoed her hunger. He waved goodbye, promising to report to the Night Watchers' headquarters in 3 days. Jai Gang watched him leave, a bit confused by the abrupt exit. As Zhang dashed off, Jai Gang was left stunned at how smoothly things had gone. He realized he never even asked about Zhang's hidden profession. Suddenly, Elder Ba from the Martial Institute arrived. Frustrated to learn he was already too late, another major had come to recruit Zhang, but the opportunity had slipped away. As Jai Gang discussed Zhang's abilities, Elder Ba was shocked to hear the term life class. He warned Jai Gang that letting a divine-level life class enter the Night Watchers could be disastrous. A divine-level life specialization was rare, and the portal anomaly in the city had apparently been triggered by Zhang awakening. Elsewhere, a girl teased Uncle Wang for being too talkative, while trying to quiet him down before they attracted attention. Zhang laughed it off, reassuring Uncle Wang that there was nothing shameful about what happened. Uncle Wang encouraged Zhang, telling him that life class professionals were valuable in companies that worked with spiritual plants. He added that Zhang's parents would be proud. Another teammate invited Zhang to join them on a trip to a beginner-level mystery realm, suggesting it was the perfect time to level up together. Zhang agreed without hesitation. A notification confirmed that the team formation was complete. A portal opened. Zhang stepped into the glowing blue portal. Zhang and his team step through the portal and enter the interior of the mystery realm. They are startled to discover the realm is filled with high-level undead soldiers. One of the teammates questions why they were matched to such a difficult instance. Another teammate speculates that it's due to Zhang's divine-level rank. The Tian Dao system must have scaled the difficulty to balance the team's power. Despite the system's reasoning, concern arises again. Zhang may be divine level, but he's a life class professional, not a fighter. One of the girls hesitates and suggests they hold back, but Uncle Wang dismisses the concern. Confidently, he steps forward, believing that luck and equipment drops might favor them thanks to Zhang. Undead soldiers with glowing blue eyes begin advancing. Uncle Wang warns Zhang to stay back and explains that these armored undead are much stronger than they appear. Without hesitation, he launches himself forward, charging directly into the enemy line to attack the core of the instance. He aiming a direct strike at one of the undead soldiers with full force. As he charges, he shouts to Zioxy, urgently requesting her to enhance his combat talent. Zioxy immediately responds, activating her support skill with glowing energy to boost Uncle Wang's abilities. Empowered by the enhancement, Uncle Wang's eyes blaze with intensity as his power surges. Uncle Wang lands a powerful attack that slices through multiple undead soldiers, clearing a path for the team. Zioxy supports from behind while the group advances. Zhang observes the brutal reality of their daily battles and recalls Zioxy's sacrifice for her brother's treatment. Zhang reflects silently, realizing he must become stronger to repay everyone who helped him in the past. Sensing the blood and monsters nearby, Little Nine becomes restless and urges to devour them. Zhang decides to test her abilities next. He activates the Toxic Barrier skill and releases Little Nine to devour the fallen enemies. Little Nine poison mist instantly corrodes the corpses upon contact, demonstrating her overwhelming toxicity. Despite the strength of her ability, the low level of these monsters provides very little growth for Little Nine. Zhang reviews his system panel and concludes that stronger enemies are needed to increase his devouring value efficiently. He observes how far Uncle Wang and the others have progressed into the dungeon. He decides to stay back and handle the remaining monsters to avoid harming allies with his poison mist. Little Nine alerts Zhang that she senses something nearby. He finds fresh traces of blood on the ground. Suddenly, a level 10 Shadow Stalker emerges. Its stats display a balanced but deadly threat, with high strength and agility. Zhang realizes the red name above the monster means its level far exceeds his. Despite this, he notes his enhanced stats from Symbiosis might even the odds. He checks his status. His power rating sits at 41 stars. Confident, he decides to use these powerful monsters to test his new abilities. Zhang commands Little Nine to transform into a plague and follow him. She obeys instantly, morphing into mist form. With Little Nine in tow, Zhang moves through the shadows. He narrows his gaze, purple energy pulsing in his eyes. He dashes forward with precision. The enemy Shadow Stalkers barely react before he's already cutting through them. His attacks swift and lethal. The monsters freeze in confusion. Before they can respond, dark energy engulfs them. Zhang calmly observes the effect of his toxin. He coldly holds the dissipating energy in his palm. He activates his plague mist again, releasing a toxic surge as more enemies charge toward him without hesitation. As the purple mist spreads, monsters fall rapidly, corroded on contact. His devouring value jumps in rapid succession +50, +50, +50, confirming his strategy is working flawlessly. Zhang smirks confidently. Little Nine excitedly points out more enemies ahead, and he prepares to collect even more blood food. More shadow monsters approaching. He worries Uncle Wang and the others might clear the dungeon too quickly. He turns to Little Nine, asking if she can handle the situation. She responds eagerly. These hidden monsters are all her prey. With confidence, she unleashes her power, preparing to devour everything ahead. Meanwhile, Uncle Wang is surrounded by enemies but stands his ground. Despite a minor injury, he remains composed, ready to fight. Uncle Wang is overwhelmed as monsters continue to swarm. He realizes they can't hold out much longer at this rate. Determined to protect the others, he orders Zioxy to retreat and regroup with Zhang. Zioxy hesitates, calling out to him in concern. Suddenly, a powerful monster lunges at him from above. Reacting instantly, Uncle Wang knows this attack could be fatal, but it's struck midair by a cloud of poisonous mist, saving him just in time. Zhang rushes over and checks if Uncle Wang is alright. Wang is shocked that Zhang, a supposed life class, just used a powerful attack. Zhang calmly reveals it's a hidden poison barrier skill. He instructs Zioxy and Xiaoli to evacuate with Uncle Wang. Zioxy and Uncle Wang are shocked, realizing the skill Zhang used is of divine level. He confidently reassures them that he'll be fine. As the group retreats, the dungeon begins summoning its boss. Uncle Wang hesitates, worried for Zhang, but Zioxy reminds him to trust Zhang's judgment, believing he's not reckless. Uncle Wang throws his sword to Zhang, telling him to press forward and return it later. Zhang firmly grips the sword, promising to bring it back safely, while the system reveals its buffs: increased speed, strength, and attack speed. Zhang channels his poison energy into the sword, aiming to boost the poison barrier's area of effect. He slashes through the enemies in a flurry of strikes, expanding the poison mist's damage range and decimating the advancing monsters. He confidently recalls his top swordsman score in school. He charges forward with explosive speed, cutting down undead monsters effortlessly with swift slashes. Leaping into the air, he swings downward with overwhelming power, crushing multiple enemies in a single blow. The remaining monsters barely react before Zhang's blade tears through them, proving his skill and strength. He unleashes a flurry of strikes, tearing through the dungeon's defenders with precision and raw power. He pauses that the true dungeon boss has finally appeared. Zhang briefly worries about how he'll explain all this to Uncle Wang later. Before him stands the towering undead king, a level 15 monster clad in dark armor. He launches a direct strike at the undead king. Shouting for Little Nine, Zhang quickly calls his companion into action. She swiftly appears, asking for permission to join the battle. With a nod from Zhang, Little Nine lunges forward. Dark tendrils erupt from her form, crashing into the undead king with devastating force as her full power is unleashed. The undead king tries to retaliate, its red eyes glowing with fury. Little Nine unleashes a barrage of sharp strikes, her claws tearing through the undead king's defense without hesitation. Her relentless assault stuns the enemy, pushing it back as her glowing energy cuts cleanly through the armored form. She stands tall, her form still glowing with lingering power. The undead king lies defeated at her feet. Zhang is surprised by how effortlessly Little Nine handled the boss. He wonders if this means the dungeon challenge has ended. Just then, a glowing crystal floats into view, capturing both their attention. He realizes the crystal is absorbing magical energy from the surroundings. The floating crystal explodes with power, channeling energy into the ground. A new monster forms from the rubble, an undead tyrant, now at level 20. Zhang realizes the crystal is the core. To defeat the monster, they must destroy it from within. He quickly instructs Little Nine to target the crystal inside its body. Without hesitation, Little Nine launches toward the undead tyrant, slashing straight at its chest. Little Nine launches multiple fast strikes, aiming at the undead tyrant's core, but the massive monster counters with a crushing stomp. Despite her speed, all her attacks are dodged. The tyrant moves with surprising agility for its size. Zhang observes carefully, astonished that such a bulky creature can completely evade Little Nine's rapid assault. He realizing he could manipulate the surrounding plants to his advantage. With determination, he decides to act despite the risk. He notes how the undead tyrant is not only fast, but each of its strikes is devastatingly powerful. But as the monster charges wildly like an out-of-control bull, Zhang identifies a flaw: its aggression leaves it open. As the undead tyrant charges, Zhang notices something: there are dormant roots hidden under the floor. He times the enemy's approach perfectly, waiting until it's within range before activating his talent. With sharp focus, he unleashes his skill, Growth Acceleration, causing the plant magic in his hand to surge to life. Glowing vines erupt violently from the floor, wrapping around the tyrant. He raises his glowing hand and commands Little Nine to act. With a respectful nod, Little Nine responds and prepares to unleash her power. She lunges forward with incredible speed, tearing through the air with a deadly barrage aimed at the restrained undead tyrant. Watching from above, Zhang breathes in relief. Although his skill is now on cooldown, he realizes he can still contribute meaningfully to combat if he plays his part wisely. Zhang locks eyes on the glowing crystal core embedded in the rocks. He tells himself this is the final step, he must destroy it. He grabs the crystal tightly, declaring it the end of the fight. As his grip tightens, energy crackles around him. The system instantly registers the result. The C-rank Secret Realm Temple of the Undead is cleared. A detailed breakdown of contributions appears, with Zhang scoring the highest despite being the lowest level. The screen shifts into loading as the system processes their completion. Rewards are about to be distributed, and Zhang awaits the outcome. A digital display of various weapons and gear materializes before Zhang. He picks up a dagger, reading its stats. Edmu's Swift Dagger with plus 50 attack and plus 5% speed, enhancing sword-related attributes. he decides to gift it to Uncle Wang. Jiang continues analyzing the equipment, realizing most of them are designed for combat-focused classes. None seem suitable for creation or support classes. He narrows his focus, scanning the attributes of each item carefully, determined to find the most fitting rewards for his team. He grabs a massive hammer labeled Call of the King. Its stats are overwhelming, with plus 100 strength and agility, plus a 10% chance to deal 5x critical damage. He senses something special. As he grips it, a system bonus called United activates, boosting all his attributes by 20%. With the mother insect's passive effects, this enhancement becomes even more powerful. Experience rewards begin to pour in. Jiang realizes his physical combat skills scale with his level, making him noticeably stronger. Just then, Little Nine tugs at his clothes, urgently calling him. She eagerly asks if she can eat all the rewards as a prize. Jiang smiles and gently refuses, explaining they're meant to be exchanged for money and might upset her stomach. Disappointed, she then points to the massive fallen monster and asks if she can eat that instead. Jiang remembers the boss's corpse. Realizing its high devouring value, he knows it shouldn't go to waste. He approves with a nod, telling her that the remains belong to her. He looks up at the massive boss corpse and wonders if Little Nine poison mist will take too long to corrode something this large. Without hesitation, Little Nine prepares herself to consume it directly. Suddenly, the boss's body cracks open ominously, revealing a terrifying skeletal structure and dark energy within. Jiang watches in disbelief, realizing this is how she plans to devour the entire thing. As Little Nine devours the massive corpse, the sound is overwhelming. Jiang notes it's way too loud to go unnoticed. He's relieved they're still inside a secret realm. If this happened in the city, they'd be discovered immediately. The devouring value jumps up rapidly, confirming the boss meets high worth. Jiang smirks, realizing boss monsters offer greater rewards. He notes they'll need to hunt more of them to grow stronger faster. Suddenly, he hears footsteps approaching. Panicking, he realizes Uncle Wang and the others might have heard the noise. He quickly tells Little Nine to revert forms as her devouring value nears completion. She obeys immediately. Uncle Wang and the others arrive, shocked by the treasure trove of rare equipment. Jiang casually offers a replacement sword for the one he broke. The team celebrates the loot, impressed with the necklace and Jiang ability. He humbly attributes victory to his poison ability. As they cheer, Jiang reflects, the secret realm is now cleared and won't reset. To reach the final devouring threshold, he must venture into the wilderness in search of new bosses. Uncle Wang praises Jiang for his talent, saying it's a shame he's heading to the research department. He asks what Jiang Chen plans to do next. Jiang reveals he's actually planning to join the Night Watch and kept it secret to avoid worrying them. Jiang says he'll head to the wilderness to increase his level before joining in 3 days. The group worries about the danger, especially Zio Roman 11. Confidently, Jiang tells them not to worry. He knows exactly what he's doing and suggests they focus on preparing for monsters instead. The train stops near a ruined city. A voice announces for wilderness-bound passengers to get off. Jiang steps out. He walks alone under the morning light. Blending in, Jiang quietly thinks about the system inside him. His hunger keeps growing, and he's noticed that eating slightly raises his devouring value even if inconsistently. As he eats a bland ration, a text confirms the value boost. Little Nine grimaces at the taste, but Jiang stays focused, his mind set on what lies ahead. Jiang tries to comfort Little Nine, promising better food soon. He recalls how Uncle Wang had unexpectedly provided him with most of the essential gear, including a valuable storage ring and a crucial map. Walking through the station, he reviews the map's contents. Uncle Wang had warned him that the wilderness is deeply influenced by chaotic energy, rendering all electronics useless. It's a place filled with unpredictability, like a post-apocalyptic zone. The map outlines regions filled with migrating monsters, making it hard to track them without real-time intelligence. Among them, firebirds and thunder rhinos are easiest to detect, but one area marked with a question mark stands out. It's a high-risk zone, home to a powerful monster nest best avoided. He studies the map carefully. Uncle Wang had advised that the Goblin Dungeon would be the best option. It's low-level, frequent monster spawns, and fewer people made it ideal for his current strength. With confidence, he decides to head straight to that dungeon. He feels reassured having a map, believing he can locate it quickly. Just as Zhang prepares to move, a voice yells for him to stop. A rough man approaches him, demanding answers. He accuses Zhang of ignoring him earlier and asks if he has seen a golden-haired girl in the area. Zhang responds firmly, stating he hasn't seen the girl and warning the man to watch his tone. Suddenly, the man clutches his hand in pain. It begins to turn dark with spreading marks. He screams out. Confused, he realizes he's been poisoned. He struggles to believe someone like Zhang, who doesn't even seem to be level 10, could harm him, a level 27 defense-type warrior. The man furious that Zhang dared to attack someone from the Zhao family. Zhang glares ahead, he crashes into the ground with power, causing debris to fly. Zhang recovers quickly and charges at man, impressed by his speed. The man's eyes glow with rage, and he prepares to fight back. Zhang doesn't flinch, he signals Little Nine to release her power. He decides it's time to stop holding back. The man growls in frustration as Zhang's black aura resurfaces. He shouts defiantly, pretending he isn't afraid, even though his expression betrays fear. Before he can act further, Zhang coldly reminds him to stay low profile. The man freezes as a familiar voice calls out his name. Tai Zheng. A blue-haired young master appears. He scolds Tai Zheng for disobeying orders, saying he was only supposed to locate someone. Tai Zheng stammers an excuse, but the young master silences him with contempt. He mocks Tai Zheng, calling him nothing but a useless, troublesome waste. Master smacks Tai Zheng across the face, declaring that someone like him has no right to act in the Zhao family's name. Tai Zheng lowers his head, responding submissively. Zhang, surprised he hadn't sensed the young master's presence. He quickly realizes this man is Tai Zheng's superior and far more dangerous. The young master calmly refers to Tai Zheng as a misbehaving dog and offers to compensate Zhang for the trouble caused. Zhang declines the offer politely. Young master smiles with interest, asking if Zhang is heading into the wilderness. He casually suggests they travel together, but Zhang refuses without hesitation, stating he prefers to move alone. As Zhang turns and walks away, Tai Zheng nervously asks if he should continue the mission after failing earlier. Young master confident that by the time Zhang finishes his journey, it will already be too late. He reveals that the target has fled into the wilderness and is heading for the nearest station. He gives strict orders not to let the girl escape alive. With the mission redirected, he commands his followers to regroup and move out immediately into the wilderness. Someone explaining how humans once thrived and built great cities across the world, spreading far and wide. However, the world changed with the rise of the class change era. Beast tides, secret realms, and dungeons began invading human territory, forcing humanity into a constant struggle for survival. The world Zhang walks through is now called the wilderness. Once thriving human cities have fallen, and only those seeking power dare to return, fighting monsters to grow stronger and gain wealth. Zhang moves carefully under broken ruins, aware that he may have lost his way. He was supposed to reach the goblin lair by now, but night is almost upon him. He reflects on the lack of strong monsters so far. The devouring value he's getting is too low. If he doesn't find a lair with a proper boss soon, it could delay his plans to meet the Night Watchers. As Zhang pauses to think, dark clouds gather overhead. As rain begins to fall, Zhang suspects he's entered a monster lair. He now has a chance to gather devour value quickly and initiate his first propagation phase. Little Nine asks if he needs help, but Zhang declines. He calmly assesses the approaching monsters, noting they only appear intimidating due to their size. Their actual level isn't high. Without hesitation, Zhang engages the incoming beasts. His attacks land with precise impact. Zhang charges forward through the heavy rain, slamming a monster into the ground with overwhelming force. He lands without pause, his movements clean and controlled. Little Nine alerts Zhang that more enemies are approaching from a different direction. Overhead, large winged monsters begin to descend. Their numbers increase, surrounding Zhang. Zhang grips his dark blade tightly and signals Little Nine that it's time. With monsters swarming, he tells her she can finally feast. Little Nine responds eagerly. As Zhang's eyes glow red, the two prepare to unleash their full strength against the incoming horde. They charge into battle. Monsters are cut down one after another with explosive force. Zhang notes that defeating them yields experience, though the gains are still limited due to their lower level. After clearing the battlefield, Zhang calmly instructs Little Nine to devour every remaining corpse. She praising him as the best, and begins absorbing the monster remains. Little Nine suddenly senses a powerful presence nearby and becomes excited. Zhang guesses it might be a boss monster and prepares for a serious encounter. With dark energy swirling around his arm, Zhang commands Little Nine to move in. As the attack begins, Zhang is caught off guard. In front of him lies a girl, unconscious and badly injured. Shocked, Zhang questions what kind of monster could take on such a human form. The girl slowly regains consciousness, her eyes fluttering open in confusion. She sits up, disoriented, and struggles to recall what just happened. Zhang, sitting nearby, greets her calmly as she holds her head. She's startled to find someone else beside her and tries to make sense of her surroundings. Panicked, she backs away and demands to know who Zhang is, accusing him of being suspicious. Zhang explains that he's just a class changer fighting monsters, meaning her no harm. Suddenly, the girl remembers the moment she was ambushed and points at Zhang, blaming him. He chuckles nervously and apologizes, saying she simply looked too much like a monster. The girl snaps at Zhang for calling her a monster. Internally, she's shocked that Zhang still has so much energy, even after taking her full strength attack. A glowing necklace activates. She mutters about wasting too much time. Someone is catching up to her, and she needs to leave immediately. Zhang wonders if she's on the run from something far more dangerous. Zhang notices the girl acting unusually tense and asks if there's something dangerous nearby. She awkwardly explains that there are monsters up ahead, claiming she's not good at fighting and plans to retreat, though her expression doesn't quite match her words. She abruptly ends the conversation, saying that's all she knows before turning to leave. Still, Zhang thinks to himself that if there really are monsters ahead, that would work in his favor. He could gain devour value easily. Zhang considers the possibility that other class changers might be involved. Knowing the wilderness is full of dangerous individuals who loot and kill, he debates tracking the girl down for answers. Suddenly, Little Nine warns him something large is approaching from the distance. Zhang assumes it must be monsters and feels hopeful it will benefit his devour value. But as the rumbling grows louder, his expression shifts. An overwhelming number of red-eyed creatures emerge from the shadows, far more than he expected. Realizing the girl had lied, Zhang's knowing he's been misled into a far more dangerous situation. Zhang watches the massive monsters approach, relieved they aren't class changers. In his mind, devour value that comes to him is simply an opportunity he won't turn down. He instructs Little Nine to switch into poison mist form. She responds obediently as a dark aura begins to form around them. The monstrous creatures roar furiously, towering above Zhang. But he stands his ground, unfazed, his blade glowing with energy. One of the beasts charges with lightning speed, but a flash of power slices through the air. Zhang launches himself forward, releasing a shockwave of energy on impact. He narrows his eyes. These monsters are moving faster than the ones he fought earlier, far more aggressive. A beast suddenly lunges from the shadows. Zhang reacts quickly, countering, but questions whether this was a coordinated ambush. Without hesitation, he spins and unleashes a devastating slash. The blow slices clean through the monsters, sending shattered limbs flying with a loud swoosh. Though he's surrounded by defeated beasts, his instincts warn him this battle is different. He quickly realizes the monsters are coordinating their attacks. One group retreats while another advances. Staring at a monster with glowing red eyes, Zhang suspects there's a leader behind it all. A boss-level entity could be commanding them. As he looks up, he sees an entire swarm lined up with chilling order. A single unified mind controlling thousands. No wonder this place is deserted by others. With waves of minions in their way, he realizes the only solution is to break through and eliminate the boss behind them all. Even with his confidence, he admits this battle won't be easy. Suddenly, Little Nine senses something deeper and intent behind the monster's actions. She warns that they're not just defending, they're provoking a direct challenge. A chilling scream pierces the air as a monstrous figure erupts with rage. The monsters begin stumbling over each other, completely disoriented from their earlier coordination. Zhang realizes Little Nine has severed their mental link, throwing them into frenzy. Impressed, he acknowledges how the skill has made everything easier. With the path now open, Zhang commands Little Nine to prepare for the final assault on the boss. He orders Little Nine to stay close, this fight is far from over. With the boss's link severed, the remaining monsters lose their coordination. Slashing through the enemies with precision, he decides there's no point wasting time on them. Zhang locks eyes on the massive spider still standing clearly, the leader orchestrating the earlier attacks. That monster is the real prize, the one with the highest devour value. With a powerful strike, the boss monster falls lifeless. Zhang stands tall over the corpse, his aura still surging. He prepares for what's coming next with confidence. A system message reveals his new stats: level 14, 127-star combat rating, and a passive skill called Unity, now active. Feeling the energy flow through him, Zhang realizes he's getting stronger with each level. His power continues to rise rapidly. With his current stats, he estimates his strength now rivals a level 25 combat class changer despite being far below in actual level. Zhang watches calmly as the remaining monsters begin to flee. They no longer pose any threat. He decides there's no point chasing weaklings, his priority is clear. Holding out his hand, he commands, "Nini, it's all yours." She responds gratefully, ready to absorb. As Nini devours the elite monster, devour values soar, plus 450. Zhang notes that hunting elites not only grants high devour points, but also helps accelerate reproduction, an efficient strategy for growth. The system notifies his devour value is full. Zhang acknowledges this, it's time to begin the first breeding. Nini requests permission to reproduce and promises even greater power in return. With a calm smile, Zhang gives the order, "All right, start reproducing." The system activates, reproduction of the first Zerg swarm generation begins. Boosted by talents like accelerated growth, the transformation surges upward. Zhang realizes his class talent is accelerating the reproduction process. A new notification pops up. He's gained exclusive skills Hive Max level and Lord level 1. He stares at the glowing mark on his hand, amazed by the power. Reproduction is nearly complete with just 8 seconds left. As the transformation finalizes, Zhang watches in awe. This is the Zerg swarm. Thousands of creatures emerge and spread across the sky. The first swarm reproduction is complete. His army 9 plague wings now numbers 2,000 strong. Zhang is impressed by the numbers. The broodmother has already produced over 2,000 larvae in the first reproduction alone. He wonders how powerful later generations will become. He inspects the new swarm closely. Though they share similarities with 9phi, these newer units possess additional abilities, camouflage and self-destruct functions which seem especially useful. Suddenly, 9phi clings to him and calls out, "Master." Zhang strokes her head with a faint smile. 9phi informs him calmly, "I've done reproducing." As 9phi gently holds his hand, she whispers she needs rest. Zhang asking what she means, but she quietly fades away. In a swirl of energy, 9phi returns to the hive. Zhang watches the glow fade, now aware that the broodmother can hide within this dimensional space, no matter how many swarms exist. Zhang evaluates the space's abilities. It seems to be a fixed-level skill at max capacity. A perfect haven to conceal the swarm from any detection. Glancing down at the glowing mark in his hand, he notices 9phi's spirit form sleeping. Even insects, he muses with a smile, need rest after so much effort. Zhang recalls acquiring a skill called Lord. Curious, he decides to activate it and test its effects for the first time. As he channels the power, glowing energy surges from his hand. The swarm responds immediately, glowing with matching purple light. Zhang realizes this skill is meant to control the swarm. The connection is instant, he can command them as effortlessly as moving his own body. Zhang lifts his hand and the swarm obeys flawlessly. This power isn't just control, it's perfect synchronization. Zhang activates his Lord skill further and discovers a new ability. He can now share senses with the swarm, linking his perception with theirs. Through the swarm's vision, he sees the world in a new light. Monsters are scattered all around the city, hidden in plain sight. Returning to himself, Zhang notices the swarm reacting to his intent. He smirks, acknowledging their eagerness for battle. With confidence, he commands them forward. He's eager to test his new powers, and the swarm is ready to follow him into the hunt. A wave of destruction bursts through the battlefield as the swarm descends. The goblin enemies collapse in chaos as the purple mist devours them instantly. Zhang watches calmly as the swarm handles everything. He stands tall amid the carnage. There's no need to lift a finger, his swarm is efficient, ruthless, and unstoppable. Zhang notes that it's almost time to reproduce again. He checks his devour value, wondering how much more is needed for the next upgrade. Suddenly, his expression changes. His eyes widen as something unexpected appears before him. From a distance, a voice calls out, "Boss has returned." Another person demands answers, urgently asking what's happening at the spider lair. One of the men rushes in, reporting that the spider lair has been completely wiped out. Not a single monster remains, everything was destroyed by someone powerful. The leader is shocked but confirms the news. The monsters were truly reduced to ashes, leaving them with nothing. Frustrated, the leader speculates whether the Night Watchers or a secret family is behind this. With no spoils to deliver, he considers robbing passers-by to recover losses. Before they can act, another man alerts them someone is approaching fast. A man peeks around the corner and spots the group, asking who they are. Zhang calmly responds, saying he's here to trade food. He assures them not to be nervous, claiming he's just another class changer trying to level up. He extends a hand, offering to make a deal. The group leader relaxes, realizing it's only one man. He agrees to trade but reminds him that food is valuable in the wilderness. He wants to know what's being offered. With a confident smile, Zhang steps forward and simply says, "I have good stuff." One of the men pulls out his weapon, challenging Zhang to show what he's got. He calmly raises his hand and activates a summoning gesture. Suddenly, a pile of massive wolf spider corpses slams to the ground with a heavy thud. The others stare in disbelief, recognizing the monsters. They're shocked, realizing Zhang might have taken down the entire spider lair by himself. He glares sharply, exposing their plan before they can act. Chen Zhong, level 17, isn't someone to mess with. He issues a cold warning, telling them to take their things and leave. The thugs, now terrified, immediately retreat while apologizing. With a simple gesture, he commands his swarm to maintain alert. Above him, two winged beasts burst forth, scanning the sky as they soar outward to patrol the area. While sipping soup, he grumbles about his growing hunger. Controlling the swarm clearly has an unexpected cost, his energy drains rapidly. He checks his devour value, still far from the target. Frustrated, he realizes the more his swarm grows, the more resources it demands. Even elite monsters don't give enough anymore. He figures he'll need to raid hidden lairs soon, like those controlled by the Night Watchers. He looks over to find Nini still unconscious. The toll of reproduction is showing, and now he knows he'll need stronger prey, and soon, he notices multiple people nearby and becomes suspicious about what's really going on. He silently wonders why she's there again. The girl, injured and sitting on the ground, recognizes Zhang. She's shocked to see him and winces from pain, hesitantly asking if it's really him. She then panics, recalling their previous encounter in the spider lair, and desperately pleads with him not to tell anyone. Zhang, meanwhile, questions why fate keeps bringing her back into his path. Zhang is startled to realize the girl managed to sneak up on him without him noticing. His thoughts race as he tries to understand how she got so close. Suddenly, Zhang's eyes sharpen, and he realizes it's already too late to escape. The group enters, led by Young Master, who immediately recognizes Zhang. As they approach, Young Master mocks Zhang for camping alone. Tai Jing demands answers from Zhang, threatening him if he doesn't cooperate. But the leader calmly stops him, keeping his cool while observing Zhang. He comments on Zhang's rapid level progression, expressing growing interest. Zhang remains calm by the fire, but makes it clear he has something more important to handle at the moment. The young master draws his weapon, asking Zhang if he saw a black-haired girl. Zhang senses the powerful aura radiating from him and quickly realizes this enemy is likely above level 30. Zhang points in a direction, giving a vague response. He admits someone passed through earlier, but claims he can't be sure who it was, using the excuse that he's not a perception type. The young master backs off, saying he'll believe Zhang for now but warns him to stay honest. As the group turns to leave, young master issues a final warning. If he finds out Zhang helped the girl, the Zhao family won't let him off easily. Zhang is taken aback upon hearing the name. He realizes the Zio family isn't ordinary, they're actually a powerful nation guardian family. He recalls their legacy. These families protect vast territories and are rarely seen unless a major disaster occurs. Some members are said to split skies and shatter Earth. Zhang silently acknowledges the threat. Getting involved with someone like that could be dangerous. Though the danger has passed, he knows staying there any longer would be reckless. It's no longer safe. The girl breathes a sigh of relief. She casually reacts as if nothing serious just happened. Zhang suddenly grabs her arm, startling her. He reminds her of the trouble she caused last time and demands answers. After helping her again, he wants to know the truth. How did she get mixed up with such dangerous people? The girl explains that her family runs a freight station. One of the attackers grew greedy and tried to rob them, killing everyone. She managed to escape and has been hunted ever since. To keep her silent, she gratefully promises to repay Zhang for his help. But Zhang brushes her off, frustrated, and makes it clear he wants nothing to do with her troubles. Suddenly, Zhang hears a strange buzzing sound. His eyes widen in alert as the noise intensifies. The girl's expression turns to panic. She realizes a barrier spell has been activated around them. They've been detected again. Zhang steps forward and calls out, knowing they can't stay hidden any longer. He realizes that trying to run now is pointless, and no one would believe he's not connected to the girl. Zhang notices the enemy numbers are greater than expected. Young Master, realizing Zhang lied, he angrily orders his group to capture them. The girl freezes in fear while Zhang calmly stands his ground. The girl accuses the young master of robbing her family's caravan and still wanting to kill everyone involved. Zhang hears her mention the Luo family for the first time. She warns the enemy that killing her would lead to serious consequences. They'll never let this go. The man scoffs at the threat, mocking the Luo family as nothing more than a second-rate clan with some money. He laughs off the danger of retaliation. He claims that without his ancestors' protection, her people would have been wiped out a century ago. Young Master mocks them coldly, saying the Zio family sees others as nothing more than lowly commoners. With cruel arrogance, Young Master declares that people like them are just livestock meant to be harvested. He suddenly prepares to unleash something, questioning if they even understand what's about to happen. A terrifying red barrier engulfs the entire cityscape. As the red barrier locks down around them, the girl panics. It's the Zio family's dragon prison formation. Escape is now impossible. The enemies rally at the Young Master's command. They prepare for a complete massacre, vowing to leave no survivors behind. While others talk about wiping out the Luo family, Young Master shifts focus. He's intrigued by Zhang's rare divine life type class and wants to know more. Acknowledging Zhang's potential, Young Master smirks and offers him a twisted opportunity to survive this battle and rise to the top. Young Master offers Zhang a deal: hand over the girl and he'll be spared, even given a place to serve the Zio family. The girl, sensing something in him, wonders if he might actually be powerful enough to resist. He mocks the so-called generosity of these young masters and firmly rejects the offer, cursing the Zio family with fierce determination. Zhang steps forward, declaring his refusal loud and clear. If it's a fight they want, he's ready to face them head-on. Young Master gives the kill order. His men charge in without hesitation, blades drawn. But someone warns them Zhang uses poison, and touching him directly could be fatal. The enemies hesitate as Zhang stands firm beside the girl. Zhang activates a glowing skill and smirks. He explains that poison is just one of his abilities. What he's about to use is something much more dangerous, a talent skill. One of the enemies leaps toward him, sword blazing with energy. Zhang activates his ability, Growth of All Things, and green energy bursts across the battlefield, stunning the enemies. Caught off guard, one enemy panics at the unexpected range and questions why Zhang, supposedly a poison user, is wielding such power. Despite their confusion, the enemies try to fight back, slashing at the plants while yelling that they're weak and can be easily cut down. Young Master realizes too late it's all a setup. The vines are just a diversion. Zhang activates his next move with precision. Surrounded by a summoned beast cloaked in dark energy, he mutters, "Too late." One of the attackers freezes in shock. Massive force shatters through the vines and enemies alike. One attacker cries out in disbelief. His weapon is shattered, and he realizes this isn't poison mist at all. Zhang has control over summoned beasts too, making him far more terrifying than they expected. One of the enemies screams in terror as a poison mist transforms mid-air, revealing itself to be a deadly beast. He realizes too late it's not just gas, it's a monster cloaked in toxins. Zhang seizes the opportunity and launches a precise attack. Another attacker scolds his comrade for being weak. Young Master, recognizing Zhang's growing threat, with a flash of power, he activates his technique, Eternal 9 Forms First Form. Zhang enemy is faster than even his poison mist, something Zhang didn't expect. With explosive force, Young Master unleashes the Zio family's secret technique, Dragon Pursuit. Smirking, Young Master mocks Zhang's speed and level, calling him too slow and weak. His blade cuts through the air, aimed to end it in one strike. But just in time, the girl activates a hidden ability. A shimmering shield envelops them both. Zhang realizes in disbelief she's a rare defense type, using the hidden class Eternal Shield of the Earth. Young Master lunges forward, his blade glowing with power. But in his rage, he realizes too late he completely forgot about the girl's presence. Zhang narrows his eyes, spotting a perfect opening. Here comes my chance, he thinks. Summoned beasts erupt behind Young Master. One of his men panics and yells a warning. Zhang's creatures are closing in fast. Elsewhere, Zhang drags down another enemy with a firm grip. As Zhang's summoned beasts close in for the kill, Young Master grabs one of his subordinates and uses him as a human shield, letting him take the full brunt of the attack. The wounded master collapses to the floor, coughing blood. Zhang realizes just how ruthless his enemy is, willing to sacrifice his own for survival. The dying subordinate gasps his final words, calling out to Young Master in confusion. But Young Master shows no remorse, only commenting that it's fitting repayment for his loyalty. Young Master grins and pops a dragon essence pill into his mouth. Forced to use it sooner than planned, he seems both annoyed and excited by the challenge. He mutters that everything will end soon, his energy intensifying. Now glowing with terrifying power, Young Master readies his blade. He declares that with his next strike, Zhang will surely die. Zhang remains silent, eyes sharp and focused. He doesn't flinch, ready to face what's coming without fear. Young Master unleashes his full power, summoning a massive golden dragon. With deadly resolve, he declares that this slash will end Zhang's life. Zhang braces himself, eyes locked on the incoming attack. Young Master swings his blade with immense force and unleashes the second form of the Eternal 9 Forms technique. The golden dragon hurtles forward, he releasing a devastating strike known as the Dragon Slayer Slash. The girl quickly activates her strongest defense, forming the defensive shield of the earth, reinforcement to protect both herself and Zhang from the incoming strike's impact. The dragon crashes into the barrier with explosive force. The ground trembles under the sheer impact, but the shield holds for now. She struggles to maintain it, realizing that Young Master's power has increased drastically after consuming the Zio family's secret pill. Zhang remains calm behind her, but he quickly assesses the threat. Every strike from Young Master is lethal and more powerful than the last. He knows they can't keep defending forever. Young Master unleashes another devastating Dragon Slayer Slash, his sword ripping through the air as red energy arcs violently around him. Zhang knows that someone this ruthless and powerful won't fall to ordinary tactics. As darkness spreads across the battlefield, Zhang finally releases the power he's been holding back. Young Master looks up, stunned by the sudden shift in energy. The girl stares in disbelief as dark energy radiates from Zhang. His aura has completely changed, making her question if he's really just a life type. Zhang raises his arm and commands his summoned beasts to attack. Shadows burst forth like a tidal wave, filling the sky above them. Young Master looks up, shocked by the number of creatures descending on him. Despite his fear, he tightens his grip on the sword, preparing for impact. With a crazed grin, Young Master slashes through the air once again, shouting, "Dragon Slayer Slash." He refuses to be intimidated, calling the beasts mere bugs. Zhang channels dark energy into his hand, activating a powerful ability. The summoned beasts that were destroyed begin to regenerate mid-air. The enemy stares wide-eyed, stunned that they're healing on their own. He slashes furiously through the swarm, but nothing works. Despite his attacks, the beasts remain unharmed, endlessly regenerating. Zhang glares ahead confidently, as the girl watches nervously behind him. He coldly declares that he'll test how long the enemy can endure. The young master roars and unleashes another powerful dragon slayer slash. But the beasts rush through the golden energy unharmed, devouring it entirely. His strongest attack is rendered useless. Before he can react again, the creatures pierce his body. He flinches, dropping his sword as dark energy wraps around his right arm. His hand begins to rot from the poison. Realizing he can't use the sword anymore, he grimly accepts that he must change tactics now. Young Master activates a radiant red shield, shouting, "Life Jade Protection." His body is fully enveloped as he mocks the idea of falling to a few bugs. Zhang attacks using Lord Encroach, but is shocked when his assault has no effect. He wonders what kind of treasure could resist it so easily. The young master stands smug inside the glowing barrier. Not even the deadly beasts can scratch it. He proudly declares it's the Zio family's ancestral treasure. With full confidence, the young master grins and announces that his life jade shield can block all external attacks, declaring himself untouchable now. Young master, protected by his glowing shield, admits Zhang's strength is impressive, but mocks that even now, he still can't defeat him. With a smug grin, he offers one final chance. Join the Zio family, and he'll even grant him their surname. He warns not to waste such a rare opportunity. Zhang scoffs at the offer, calling out young master blindness without his lackeys. Young master expression darkens as he threatens future retaliation. He asks if Zhang truly believes he can withstand the full wrath of the Zio family. Zhang smirks, mocking the young master's earlier arrogance. He points out that without his body, the truth of this won't matter to anyone. A massive surge of dark energy strikes the ground with a rumble, startling the young master. He gasps in panic, calling out in confusion. From the explosion, Little Nine slowly emerges, casting an ominous shadow over everyone. Looking up at the creature, Zhang calls it Niney, casually inviting it to come out and feed it. The young master's face twists in horror as Little Nine declares its starvation. A devastating blast erupts from Little Nine's mouth, crashing into the young master's shield with overwhelming force. Despite his defenses, the young master is knocked back, bloodied and stunned. Zhang calmly explaining that Niney has finished reproducing, and now the young master and his precious life jade are the perfect nourishment. Niney lunges forward again, her massive jaws glowing with deadly energy. The attack crashes into the young master's shield, cracking the air with a violent boom. Panic spreads across his face. He watches in disbelief as fractures ripple across his life jade shield. His voice trembles as he denies the reality, trying to convince himself that the life jade should be indestructible. From below, he sees Niney's overwhelming form descending upon him. His final thought echoes one word: invincible, as darkness begins to close in. With a final devastating impact, the battlefield is consumed in a blinding explosion. Zhang quietly watches the aftermath, knowing that no trace of the enemy will remain. He mutters that the secret will die with them. The smoke clears slowly, revealing nothing left. He calmly raises his hand, calling Niney back. She obeys with a cheerful "coming." Niney hops on Zhang's back with a playful grin, thanking him and declaring her love. The girl nearby shudders, overwhelmed by the eerie power Zhang just unleashed. The girl nervously stares at Zhang, now aware of his terrifying secret. A thought grips her. If he knows she's seen too much, will he silence her? Zhang arrives at the Night Watcher's base and is surprised to see a large group already present. He quietly wonders why so many people are gathered. Jai Gang greets Zhang warmly and says they've been expecting him. He places a hand on Zhang's shoulder and leads him inside, saying he'll introduce him to the core members. The first person introduced is Zyok Yun, a level 45 healer who has undergone her second class change. She used to be the youngest among the group, but now Zhang holds that title. She's impressed by his appearance and excited to work with him. Next is Feng Duan, a level 49 archer also with a second class change. He seems aloof and confident, barely speaking as he greets Zhang with a smug pose. Jai Gang notes his arrogance but includes him among the core members. Zhang is introduced to Bulang Chu, a level 49 tank with a second class change. Despite his small build, he's known for being both strong and extremely talkative. Bulang jokingly boasts about having met a divine class member and sees it as a lifelong bragging right. Next, Zhang meets Jin Tang, a level 61 Master Fire Mage with a 3rd class change. She also serves as the deputy leader and is praised for her cooking. She warmly welcomes Zhang and promises he'll never go hungry if he sticks with her. Feeling the kindness from everyone, Zhang humbly questions why they're treating him so well, especially since the life type despite being divine is often overlooked. Still, he begins to feel a genuine sense of belonging among them. Jai Gang and the others reassure Zhang, emphasizing their belief in him. Jai Gang expresses pride in Zhang's decision to join so decisively, calling the base his new home. Internally, Zhang reflects on how his original plan was to gather resources and keep a low profile, but everything is starting to change. Jai Gang decides it's time to get down to business and informs Zhang about a talent training camp happening in 3 days. He says it's a good chance to earn resources, but mentions that the entry requirement is level 20. Zhang responds honestly, stating he's currently at level 17. Jai Gang is shocked to learn that Zhang has reached that level despite only changing classes 3 days ago. He bursts into laughter, thrilled by Zhang's rapid progress. He praises Zhang's divine potential and confidently declares that reaching level 20 in time won't be a problem. Without hesitation, Jai Gang decides to sign Zhang up for the camp immediately. Meanwhile, the other core members look on. Jai Gang questions Zhang about whether he has recently run into trouble with anyone powerful. Zhang hesitates before explaining that someone with a 3rd class change has been tracking him using divine sense. He grows suspicious, wonders if the person behind this surveillance could be connected to the Zhao family. Zhang at a family breakfast, where his parents begin teasing him about not having a girlfriend. They suggest he consider their friend's daughter, who is not only skilled but also good with finances. Embarrassed by their matchmaking attempt, Zhang quickly excuses himself with the excuse of urgent work and runs off. His parents try to stop him, wanting to talk more. Zhang's parents continue teasing their daughter Sandow about not seeing off her future husband. Annoyed, she brushes it off, but her mother casually mentions that they placed a tracker on Zhang's black card, allowing them to follow his movements. Sandow admits she finds Zhang both strong and attractive, though a bit intimidating. Meanwhile, in Zhao family's residence, Yuan Shan Zhao demands a full investigation. A subordinate immediately agrees to act. Beihan Zhao dismisses the death of his cousin Yuanwu, calling him useless and a waste of space for only reaching level 30 despite being in his 30s. He mocks anyone upset over such a death. Yuan Shan Zhao acknowledges Yuanwu's mediocrity, agreeing that his death isn't a major loss. However, he emphasizes that Yuanwu was still his grandson, and harming him is a personal insult. He vows to uncover who in Solari dared to provoke the Zhao family. With a menacing smile, Beihan Zhao swears revenge. He declares that after completing the talent camp, he'll eliminate anyone who stands against their family. Meanwhile, Zhang wonders how he should deal with Sandow. He demands a reason not to kill her. In desperation, Sandow offers all the valuable treasures she owns, items worth millions. She pleads with him, calling them her lifeline and offering everything to spare her life. Zhang acknowledges her sincerity but warns that she knows too much. Holding a small item, he implies that her fate still hangs in the balance if she lies. Panicked, Sandow swears to the heavens that she'll never deceive her savior again. But Zhang questions her identity, confused by her masculine-sounding name, which raises further suspicion about whether she's telling the truth. Desperate to prove her honesty, Sandow insists she isn't lying and blames her parents for the confusion. To support her claim, she offers her ID for verification. Zhang examines the ID silently. The picture looks younger and quite different, prompting him to question whether it's truly hers. Embarrassed, Sandow quickly explains that the photo was taken 2 years ago, and she still looked like a kid back then. She tries to excuse the changes by saying she hadn't lost weight yet. Zhang can't help but chuckle at her flustered explanation. breaking into a laugh. He's stating that just because Sandow seems honest doesn't mean she won't leak his secret. He coldly remarks that the only people who stay quiet are the dead. Sandow quickly pulls out a large scroll and reassures him not to worry. Curious, Jong asks what it is. She explains that it's a silencing scroll. Anyone who signs it and later reveals the secret will die instantly. She declares that she's afraid of death and will use the scroll to prove her loyalty. Jong is surprised something like this even exists. Accepting her sincerity, he agrees to spare her for now. Sandow signs the scroll gratefully, thanking him for his mercy. Sandow is stunned to learn that the silencing scroll she just gave away is worth 10 million. Jong casually confirms its value, leaving her speechless. Jong then realizes the only valuable item in the storage ring she gave him has already been used. His expression darkens, while Sandow nervously pleads with him to stay calm and promises her parents will offer a generous reward if he escorts her home. Jong states he must return to the Night Watchers by morning, as he's already behind schedule. But Sandow insists her home is closer and even has a teleportation station, claiming it'll get him there on time. Jong reluctantly heads toward the Luo family's mansion. As he approaches the grand estate, he mutters in frustration about how outrageous the whole situation has become. At the Luo mansion, a group of subordinates kneel in apology, admitting their failure to protect Sandow. Her mother, furious at the Zhao family's violence, declares they've gone too far. While the mother wants to take action, her husband calmly reminds her that the most important thing is Sandow's safe return. He also acknowledges the Zhao family's power and warns against making enemies with such a strong household. Grateful for Jong's help, Sandow's father offers him a black card as a reward. He thanks Jong for rescuing his daughter and invites him to stay for breakfast before leaving. Jong accepts the black card without hesitation, but hesitates at the breakfast offer. As his stomach growls, he reluctantly considers the idea. He shyly agrees to stay for breakfast, insisting he'll only eat a little. The Luo parents smile and quickly have the meal arranged. Jong begins devouring large portions of food. He notes to himself that the more creatures he controls, the greater his own energy consumption becomes. The massive spread makes others question his definition of a little bit, but the family encourages him to keep eating. As Sandow watches Jong eat, she reflects on his strength. Though he's still new to being a life type, his power already surpasses expectations. Internally, she admits he's not just capable, but also quite handsome. Sandow's parents secretly discuss how Jong could be a powerful ally. If he can help them stand against the Zhao family and protect their daughter, they're willing to fully support him. Back at the Night Watcher's base, Zayok sets up a soundproof barrier to give Jong and Jai Gang a private space to talk. Jai Gang encourages Jong to open up about any issues. Jong confesses that he killed Zhao Yuanwu the day before, though he doesn't know how the Zhao family discovered it since he left no traces. The group is shocked upon learning Zhao Yuanwu's identity as the grandson of Zhao Yuanchen from the Zhen Empire. Zhang realizes this revelation might bring major trouble for everyone involved. Jai Gang explains that while the Zhao family is notorious for their evil deeds, Yuanwu was considered the weakest and least favored among them. His death, while risky, might not prompt direct retaliation from the elders. Still, Jai Gang warns that even if the Zhao Patriarch doesn't act personally, they'll likely send someone else. The team understands they can't afford to relax. Meanwhile, Jong reflects silently, feeling a rare sense of belonging despite being an orphan. Jai Gang suddenly bursts out in shock, unable to believe how Jong, a newly awakened life type, could defeat someone with a second-class transfer in a duel. Jong calmly explains that he wasn't alone, someone helped him during the battle. When Jai Gang asks who helped him, Jong casually reveals it was Luo Sandow from the Jiangnan Luo family. She possesses a hidden defense-type profession. Everyone is surprised, especially Jai Gang realizing she's the daughter of the richest businessman in Jiangnan. Jai Gang laughs proudly, saying that while the Luo family isn't known for combat, their wealth is unmatched. He assures Zhang that if he ever faces trouble, the Luo family will have his back. Then Jai Gang pauses, putting the pieces together. If Sandow is purely defense type and had no offensive power, that means Zhang must have been the one who delivered the finishing blow. He surprises everyone by revealing he actually has 2 professions. Alongside his life type, he also holds a hidden poison type profession, causing dark energy to swirl in his hand. The group is stunned. Jai Gang laughs in disbelief, asking how many more surprises Zhang has in store. Meanwhile, the others cautiously back away from the spreading poison aura. Jai Gang boasts confidently, saying Zhang doesn't even realize how high he's capable of reaching. The poison spreads to another hand mid-transfer, startling the group. Zhang teases Jai Gang, pointing out that his defense broke after getting touched by the poison. Jai Gang, clutching his arm, insists it only happened because he wasn't guarding properly. In pain, Jai Gang calls for Zyok to help. She rushes over with a smile, using her healing magic to treat the injury. As Zyok works, Zhang casually reminds everyone that he did warn them how poisonous it was. Jai Gang grumbles but admits he appreciates Zhang's growing set of skills. Despite acknowledging Zhang's talent, Jai Gang decides to cancel his registration for the Tianjiao camp. He explains that the Zio family may also attend, and risking exposure isn't worth it for a few resources. Zhang asks Jai Gang what kind of resources are available at the talent camp. Jai Gang casually replies that it includes beast essence, equipment, and similar materials. Jai Gang adds that the top performers can even earn rare treasures like mysterious fruits and secret realm scrolls. Zhang is visibly intrigued by the mention of such high-value rewards. Internally, Zhang weighs the options. Compared to the danger of fighting elite beasts alone, these rewards are extremely tempting. He starts reconsidering his earlier hesitation. Zhang cautiously responds that he'll think about it. At the Zio family's estate near the West Lake, Beihan demands updates on the investigation. One subordinate reports that Yuanwu had prior contact with a woman named Luo Sandow, and she once traveled with named Zhang. The subordinate continues, revealing that Zhang recently awakened as a divine-level creation type and joined the Night Watchers. Both Zhang and Luo Sandow had also signed up for the Tianjiao camp. He acknowledges that Luo Sandow lacks combat strength and wonders who Zhang really is. For now, they remain suspects, no solid evidence yet. Beihan Zio smirks after hearing the report. Even without concrete proof, he finds Zhang's divine-level awakening intriguing. Now that Zhang has registered for the Tianjiao camp, Beihan decides there's no need to seek him out, he can kill him there. Meanwhile, Jai Gang admits he's still uneasy about Zhang attending the camp. To help, he's arranged for a strong ally among the applicants to support him if needed. Jai Gang teases Zhang, saying the girl he arranged to meet is not only powerful, but also around his age. He jokingly encourages Zhang to win her over using his young master charm. As Jai Gang finishes, the doorbell rings. A woman arrives with a confident stride, questioning Jai Gang's change of heart. She reminds him that he rejected her request yesterday to borrow someone from the Night Watchers. When she teasingly suggests it was because of a handsome man, Zhang watches silently and thinks she's quite different from the rumors about her. Jai Gang laughs and explains his real reason. Yesterday, he was annoyed with her grandfather, but today, he agreed under one condition: she had to bring Zhang along. As they walk out together, she scoffs about already offering a secret realm scroll for free, while Jai Gang casually replies that everyone gets what they need. He reminds her she came looking for someone reliable for combat in the LV-50 secret realm trial anyway. The girl directly asks Zhang about his combat power. He calmly responds that he's a level 17 creation type. She's shocked, calling him a rookie below level 20 and questioning the usefulness of the creation type, calling it garbage. Jai Gang instantly loses his temper and yells at her, demanding she show respect. He defends Zhang, declaring he's divine level with dual professions. Someone interrupts, revealing that the girl recently got dumped. They explain her outburst wasn't personal, she's just emotionally unstable right now. The girl suddenly agrees to participate, stopping Uncle Jai mid-sentence. They are shown the entrance to the secret realm Beautiful Village, which allows up to 5 people under level 50. The mission is to clear monsters in the village, kill the boss, and destroy the altar. Feng Duan confidently states he'll lead the team this time. He warns everyone to use the teleportation stone immediately if they get separated or sense danger. As the group gathers, Xiao Qiu notes that secret realm mutations are rare but possible. Zhang is advised again that in case of any emergency, they must leave the realm instantly. The girl yells at Zhang not to drag them down. As they approach the entrance to the realm, she mocks him again, while someone reassures Zhang they'll protect him. They enter the secret realm, which is confirmed to be a level 30 area. The group is surprised, and Zhang internally notes a bad feeling about this mission. The group arrives in snowy village surrounded by mountains. It's strangely calm, with no monsters in sight. Feng Duan suggests searching the houses. He assigns roles, Bulang as the tank, himself as the damage dealer, and Xiaok to stay at the back and protect Zhang. The team arrives at Guanaming Village, a quiet and eerie place. Feng Duan warns everyone to stay alert, pointing out a strange, dark energy in the village. Xiaok steps forward and casts a cleansing buff on the entire team to protect them before they proceed further. Zhang feels the effect instantly. He's amazed by the buff's power, it clears his mind and even boosts his agility and energy. A surge of dark energy erupts from the stone tablet, twisting the air and turning the village sky blood red. Sensing danger, Feng Duan shouts for everyone to run. He urgently commands the team to retreat, recognizing the signs of a terrifying mutation. A massive red beam pierces the sky. The secret realm mutates into Dead Spirit Village. New conditions are announced: defeat the dead spirits and kill the boss. Darkness has officially taken over. Trapped in the mutated Dead Spirit Village, he realizes the realm has jumped straight to nightmare level. Worried about the overwhelming difficulty, he recalls the warning to retreat if in danger. He decides it's best to head for the teleportation stone. He kicks open a door to escape, but as he steps inside, he's stunned. Every single exit is sealed off by coffins and eerie red lanterns. He notices a portrait on the wall. As he stares, a chill runs down his spine. It feels like the portrait is smiling at him. Startled, he looks around and realizes something is off. Suddenly, ghostly spirits emerge from the coffin's level 30 dead spirits, immune to normal physical attacks. Surrounded and unable to harm, he immediately switches tactics, deciding to rely on poison instead. He tries using poison, but the dead spirits swarm him. His attacks barely affect them as they rise through the purple mist. He quickly retreats to a rooftop, realizing that poison also counts as a physical attack and is just as useless against them. He quickly calls out his summon. Little Nine pleads for food. Surprised, he wonders if Little Nine can actually devour the spirits, though he's unsure if eating is also a form of physical attack. Little Nine confidently says the undead can be eaten. He gives her permission but warns her not to overdo it. He'll step in if needed. She flies up gleefully, eyes glowing red, and declares them all as food. With excitement, Little Nine begins tearing into the undead. She laughs joyfully, thrilled by the feast of so many dark spirits. He realizes something important. Little Nine, being from the abyss and part of the dark species, can overpower these undead. With the evolution skill, she can even surpass them completely. Realizing the undead can be devoured, he unleashes his swarm, declaring it's time for a feast. The insects burst out, targeting the undead. As they devour them, the system displays massive experience gains from each kill and from Little Nine. A system notification confirms his level up to 18, with boosts to all attributes and proficiency points. He stands back in amazement, noting he gained over 500,000 experience in just 10 seconds. To him, this secret realm is the perfect opportunity. Now that the enemies outside are gone, he confidently turns his attention to the strange portrait on the wall. Little Nine reports that everything outside has been eaten. The two approach the portrait, and he questions its creepy appearance. He asks Little Nine if the portrait might be edible like the undead. She silently examines it while he waits for her judgment. Suddenly, the portrait reacts violently, unleashing a powerful burst of energy, catching both of them off guard. After the portrait shatters, a system notice appears. They've scared a necromancer guard to death and gained experience. Meanwhile, Feng Duan fiercely fights off undead enemies using a longbow. He reflects that he's lucky to have a magical weapon without it. These undead would be impossible to handle. He also worries about Xiaochen, who isn't even level 20. Suddenly, he's shocked to see a notification showing that Xiaochen's team has wiped out several enemies, including a high-level elite. As monsters swarm, he realizes they are in a mutated secret realm. He's shocked someone is instantly killing the undead so easily, but rules out Buleng and Xiaochen. His eyes land on Mu Hankyu, who stands confidently with a smirk. He's stunned to realize she was hiding her true strength all along. He dashes toward the horde, shouting encouragement to Xiaochen and hoping that whoever is taking out the monsters can save the rest of the party too. But just then, Mu Hankyu is seen overwhelmed and injured, lying on the ground while undead monsters close in from all sides. She struggles to survive, badly injured and drained of energy. Despite having a hidden profession, she's unable to activate her speed skill and feels hopeless. Suddenly, she notices someone approaching. The dead spirits start retreating, and she wonders if it's the teammate responsible for eliminating the undead earlier. Feeling a powerful aura, she holds on to hope. If she can just hang in a little longer, she believes she'll be saved. But before rescue can reach her, she collapses again in pain as undead creatures close in once more. She desperately calls out to Zhang for help as she's cornered by a crowd of undead. Mu Hankyu, terrified, tries to crawl away and pleads for them to stay back. As she attempts to move, Zhang suddenly releases a wave of dark energy, pushing her away with brutal force. She crashes to the ground, skidding across the wooden floor. Mu Hankyu, bruised and struggling to get up, stares at Zhang in disbelief, shocked by his ruthless power. Her eyes widen as a surge of dark energy erupts from Zhang. Zhang unleashes a massive wave of purple energy, and shadows form around him. As the energy spreads, Mu Hankyu realizes the truth: Zhang isn't just a life-type user. He has dual attributes, and this terrifying poison-type form is his true self. She gazes at him in shock, murmuring how cool and powerful he really is. Mu Hankyu clutches her chest, her face flushed and heart racing uncontrollably. Overwhelmed by the lingering aura, she panics, thinking she's been poisoned. Half an hour later, Xiaoch and Feng Duan are seen battling a powerful undead. While they hold their ground, they wonder if Mu Hankyu encountered Xiaoch suddenly leftover battle traces. She notes that the battle ended recently and begins to worry about Zhang's safety. Spotting scattered undead fragments, Xiaoch urges the team to hurry. She knows they can't afford any harm to come to Zhang and rushes to find him. As Xiaoch and Feng Duan walk through the narrow street with their companion, their expressions shift in shock as they recognize Mu Hankyu and Zhang. In the distance, they see Zhang sitting calmly while Mu Hankyu kneels beside him. Xiaoch confirms it's definitely Zhang, but Feng Duan grows suspicious. He questions how someone of Mu Hankyu's status could be serving Zhang like that. He warns the group not to act hastily; those two might actually be transformations set up by the enemy. Mu Hankyu gently massages Zhang's shoulders as he sits calmly. They spot the altar in the distance but stop and demand answers. Mu Hankyu suddenly steps forward, declaring that no one is allowed to touch Zhang without her permission. Zhang smirks confidently, teasing that he's just a bit too charming. He casually explains their boss is Gang Jai and praises Ms. Tang's cooking. Xiaoch and the others rush to Zhang's side, asking if he was hurt. While Mu Hankyu stays close to him, Zhang keeps his cool while teasing comments fly. Mu Hankyu flirts playfully, and Feng Duan praises Zhang's abilities in all. Their light moment is interrupted as one of them reminds the group about the mission. The team refocuses and agrees to confront the boss. With determination, Zhang takes the lead and pushes the door open. The group enters the large chamber and comes face to face with a towering undead leader. They quickly identify it as a level 40 boss. Feng Duan steps up to distract it while assigning Mu Hankyu to protect Zhang. He orders Xiaok to handle buffs and support, while Bulang is tasked with dealing damage and dodging attacks. Suddenly, the boss begins to move. Feng Duan immediately shouts for everyone to spread out as the battle begins. The team surrounds the fallen undead boss as a strange energy rises from its body. Feng Duan steps closer, confused by the shift. He wonders if the boss is surrendering, unsure of what's truly happening. Zhang steps forward confidently, telling the others to fall back. He takes charge and summons Nini, declaring it's time to feast. As dark energy surges forward, Nini lunges at the boss with monstrous jaws wide open. Zhang defeats the undead leader with Nini's powerful attack, instantly earning a massive amount of XP. The system announces his level up and bonus points. Everyone watches in shock as the boss vanishes without resistance. They realize Zhang must have been the one who wiped out all the undead earlier as well. With a calm smile, Zhang explains that his poison attribute is naturally effective against the undead, downplaying the ease of his victory. The team receives generous rewards, including a special item that blocks fatal attacks. Xiaok and the others are stunned by the high-level reward tier they've never seen before. The team expresses their gratitude to Zhang, admitting they've been relying on his strength. They cheerfully thank him for carrying them through the challenge. Zhang opens the reward chest and marvels at the loot. Among the many high-value items, he's most excited by a cloak that grants invisibility for 3 minutes. He decides to keep the cloak and plans to sell the rest of the items later to buy more Essence Blood Vital for his insect companion's development. As the secret realm begins to collapse, a system message urges them to leave. Zhang notes that his bug's devour value has risen greatly, and with more essence, they'll soon be ready to multiply again. After clearing the secret realm, they get back to the Night Watcher's office building. A report comes in detailing the unexpected mutation of the secret realm and the team's survival. The news shocks Uncle Jai, especially learning that Mu Hankyu has fallen for Chen Zhang, and he was the one who cleared the entire realm. Frowning in disbelief, Uncle Jai tells the others to leave. He needs to speak with Chen Zhang privately. Zhang enters Ray Well's office calmly, accompanied by Feng Duan and Xiaok. Uncle Jai demands answers, but Zhang plays innocent, casually asking, "About what?" he snaps, accusing Zhang of lying. He doesn't believe poison type alone could defeat undead so easily and insists he's hiding something. Uncle Jai glares down at Zhang and demands the truth. What secrets is he keeping? Zhang recalls the ancient catastrophe caused by the Zerg. If anyone finds out he's connected to them, he knows he won't be forgiven. Uncle Jai glares at Zhang with glowing red eyes, demanding he speak. Suddenly, Uncle Jai bursts into laughter, teasing Zhang for losing his composure. He jokes about Zhang's bravery vanishing once questioned. Relaxing, Uncle Jai admits he won't force Zhang to talk. He's happy Zhang has secrets and sees him as a future pillar of the Night Watchers, someone they'll count on to accomplish great things. Zhang earnestly expresses his commitment, but Uncle Jai laughs it off, thinking he's joking about handling epic-level gear. Uncle Jai acknowledges Zhang's hidden strength and praises his trump cards. Still, he warns that some things must be made clear first. He leads Zhang to a sealed chamber where 2 powerful bodies hang. Uncle Jai confesses that the enemies were level 60 masters, with even 2 reaching level 90 grandmaster status. He admits he couldn't defeat them, he could only recover their remains. Zhang is shocked to learn that assassins were involved. He asks if they were after him, but Uncle Jai clarifies they were targeting Hankyu Mu and her protectors eliminated them secretly. He hands Zhang a scroll, telling him to take a look. Zhang wonders why Hankyu was the target in the first place. Opening the scroll, Zhang sees the Solary Talent Hunt list, which includes names he's never heard before, each marked with reward bounties for being killed. Zhang spots a familiar name, Beihen Xiao of the Xiao family. Uncle Jai confirms he's one of Solary's top talents and will attend the upcoming talent camp in the South River Zone alongside Zhang. Uncle Jai explains that the top 100 talents in Solary are all descendants of powerful nobles, dukes, nation guardians, and invincibles with multiple class changes. Hankyu Mu, despite being a duke's descendant, is only ranked 77th. Yet countless assassination attempts against her have failed, thanks to her formidable protectors. Even the families backing Duke descendants are incredibly powerful. Uncle Jai warns Zhang that the Zhao family is no exception and not to be underestimated. Zhang realizes the warning he must not draw attention during the upcoming talent camp. Uncle Jai confirms this, advising him to conceal his strength unless absolutely necessary to avoid becoming a target. Uncle Jai explains that other top talents are backed by powerful forces, unlike Zhang, who lacks similar protection despite his potential. Zhang respectfully promises to remember the advice. Internally, he feels touched Uncle Jai never blamed him for hiding secrets and instead looked out for him. Uncle Jai admits that if Zhang's performance in the secret realm gets exposed, he'll surpass Hankyu Mu in rank. Yet strangely, Hankyu never told anyone and kept Zhang's secret. With a playful grin, Uncle Jai leans closer and asks what exactly did Zhang do to Hankyu Mu to earn her silence and loyalty. As the conversation ends, Zhang casually waves off Uncle Jai and heads out, telling him to rest. Uncle Jai chuckles, insisting he never meant anything in a bad way. Night falls over the city. He lines up dozens of bottles filled with essence blood, having sold most of his loot to afford them. It's all to help his bugs evolve into a new generation. Pouring out the rich, glowing liquid, Zhang calls his bugs to feast. Each bottle holds the energy of hundreds of beasts equivalent to the strength of a level 60 master. As Zhang pours the essence blood, Little Nine on his head pleads to eat too. He gently refuses, reminding her it's not time for her next reproduction yet. She starts crying adorably, tugging at his hair. Zhang, visibly annoyed but amused, finally gives in. He lets her drink. She cheers joyfully, calling him the best master. Zhang moves on to the 4th tier essence blood equivalent to a level 90 plus Grandmaster's strength. As she drinks, her level begins upgrading from 18 to 19. Zhang initiates the reproduction process for his 9 plague wings. Each one is capable of spawning 40-60 offspring, with the entire process accelerated by divine evolution. In moments, the system notifies him, reproduction complete. The total number of offspring 100,000. Zhang suddenly notices dark energy surging from his arm. A massive swarm bursts out of him, flooding the room with black, winged creatures. As the swarm erupts and fills the room, Zhang yells in frustration, demanding to know if his own bugs are rebelling in his house. He orders them to return to the hive and not to emerge again unless summoned. Looking around at the wrecked room, Zhang sighs. He turns to the Little Nine, scolding her for doing nothing but eating. He urges her to start disciplining the unruly swarm. Meanwhile, she quietly slurps from her bottle, completely ignoring him. Zhang checks his updated status. Level 26, Zerg Lord, with divine talents and 100,009 plague wing offspring. His combat power now stands at an incredible 197 stars. He smiles, realizing how fast his strength is growing, already nearing that of elite masters despite still being early in his class path. Standing tall before a swirling purple glow, he declares that everything is ready. Tomorrow's talent camp will push him to level 30 and trigger his 2nd class change. As visions of powerful broodmothers surround him, Zhang grins with anticipation. Soon, he'll be able to gain a new broodmother and take the next step in his evolution. News spreads rapidly through the Night Watcher's HQ, shocking the higher-ups. Another member suggests involving the Heavenly Blade Lord to ensure Chen's safety. Uncle Jai explains that it may seem excessive, but if Chen runs into Beihan Zhao in the South River Zone, he could be in real danger, especially since Talent Camp reveals everything. No secrets can stay hidden there. Looking tense, Uncle Jai admits Chen gives off an eerie feeling. He suspects that Chen's so-called poison type might be more than it seems. It could actually be forbidden. The woman reacts with panic, demanding answers. She can't believe the possibility of Chen possessing a forbidden class. Uncle Jai recalls the ancient history 600 years ago. A being known as the Devourer plunged Solari into chaos, leading to the creation of forbidden classes. Since then, anyone awakened with one is executed immediately. The woman argues that if Chen had such a class, it would have been exposed during his awakening. She insists Uncle Jai is just being paranoid. Uncle Jai responds softly, "I hope you're right." Zhang wandered through the forest, looking around in confusion and admitting to himself that he might be lost again. Just then, he heard someone shouting for help. Curious, he turned toward the sound and saw an old man being flung into the air by a tail. Without hesitation, he used his ability to summon vines, which shot upward and caught the man before he could fall further. But instead of calming down, the man began panicking even more, struggling and admitting he was terrified of heights. Watching this, Jong could only think to himself that it was strange being afraid of heights, yet still climbing up for a bird's nest. It almost felt like dealing with a grown child. The old man, grateful for being saved, turned to Jong and asked if he knew the way to the Tanjiao camp. Jong admitted he was lost, but the old man offered to guide him. As they walked, the old man began sharing his story. He explained that back then, he didn't have the talent to awaken. After failing, he spent years wandering, trying to make a living, but even after a decade, he couldn't afford much in the city. Disheartened, he once ran into the mountains with the thought of ending his life, only to stumble upon a small hut left behind by an old hunter, along with a sword. From that point on, he trained relentlessly, swinging the blade thousands of times each day. Over the years, his persistence paid off, and one day he experienced a sudden breakthrough, an epiphany that changed everything. Along the way, Jong asked why he didn't simply keep his sword in a memory space like other awakened. The old man calmly explained that he wasn't awakened at all. His strength came solely from the sword and his training. With a faint smile, he asked Jong if it wasn't mysterious, how a simple man like him could grow so strong through sheer effort. Jong finally arrived at Tanjiao camp, where the atmosphere filled with new arrivals waiting to be tested. He looked around, quietly noting how crowded and overwhelming the environment felt. As he moved forward, he overheard an argument. Someone was scolding a young man, telling him to stop wasting time on romance and focus on reading more. The young man protested, saying no one understood his struggles. Watching this, Jong thought to himself that the sheer amount of information here was almost too much to process. Then his eyes widened in surprise. He spotted Luo Sandao. Jong couldn't help but wonder why he suddenly held the title of Master, questioning how things had turned around so strangely. At the camp's entrance, officials warned him not to lose his wristband and to prepare for entry. Just then, some girls nearby recognized him, calling him both benefactor and master, their excitement drawing attention. As the situation escalated, one of them demanded to know why another girl was still following. The girl quickly shot back, saying she wasn't following at all. Her loyalty was to her master, Zhang Chen. One girl smugly reminded another that she had always said Zhang wasn't ordinary, and now it was proven true. The other girl blushed, quietly admitting that he had truly moved her heart. Meanwhile, voices in the crowd grew louder. Shock spread after a grandmaster was defeated in a single strike. People wondered who could have delivered such a blow, and the answer pointed to none other than the top performers from the Zhongnan zone. In the midst of this, the girls beside Zhang bickered again. One asked if they were good friends once more, but the other argued that they were both rivals in love, which meant they had no choice but to be enemies. Zhang could only sigh to himself, thinking how strange their way of reasoning was. In the arena, as the strongest contenders began stepping forward, a fighter with a fiery aura was introduced as one of the most brilliant from Jiangnan, someone who had quickly risen to prominence. A woman in black followed, described as a deadly beauty whose strength and presence made her unforgettable. Finally, a man with a blue aura lifted his sword high, his reputation marking him as another of Jiangnan's finest. The crowd buzzed with anticipation, waiting to see how these elites would perform. One of the girls angrily pointed toward the stage, saying the epic sword in Xiao Beihen's hand was stolen from her family. Zhang observed quietly, noting how powerful this man was. Xiao Beihen truly lived up to the title of genius, far surpassing others like Xiao Yuanwu. The announcers spoke of Zhang Wuxuang, ranked third on the Dazia Genius hunting list, a descendant of the invincible Zhang family, known for their unmatched bloodline and hidden power. Zhang wondered silently if his insects would be enough to deal with people of this level. As the battles unfolded, one of the fighters clashed fiercely, his aura cutting through the air as the crowd looked on in awe. Zhang stood at the sidelines, watching intently as the arena filled with energy and pressure. The clash shook the arena, forcing everyone to step back. Zhang Wushuang's fist technique sent his opponent flying, leaving the crowd stunned. The fighter steadied himself, acknowledging that the strike had real power. He admitted Zhang Wushwang's fist style wasn't bad. Zhang stood by, his aura flaring as he prepared himself, knowing the strength on display wasn't ordinary. The fighter turned toward him, calling out Zhang's name and noting that he had heard about his growing reputation. With his sword drawn, the man admitted that although he had promised not to go all out, the situation left him with no choice but to unleash his true strength. Zhang power spreading cracks across the ground as everyone watched. The fighter's eyes widened, recognizing the aura and calling out in shock, "Heavenly Blade King." The man demanded accountability, declaring that Zhang would have to answer for the sword in his hands. But before the confrontation could escalate further, a commanding voice cut through the tension. From the distance, the chief instructor arrived, with a single wave of his weapon. The force was so great that many struggled to stay standing, while even Zhang felt the pressure shaking through him. Realization struck Zhang as he looked closer. This imposing figure was the same strange old man he had met earlier. He now stood revealed as the chief instructor, known to all as the Heavenly Blade King. The announcement spread across the camp, calling all 300 candidates to gather for the opening ceremony. Vice Commander Yang Biang led the order. Whispers filled the crowd. Many found it strange that the Heavenly Blade King, long rumored to live in seclusion, was stepping forward now. Others trembled at the thought of his power, knowing that even from dozens of meters away, he could kill them in a single strike. Some speculated he might be looking for a disciple, and the possibility made everyone nervous. Among the candidates, excitement grew. If such a figure truly intended to recruit, it would only be the most exceptional among them. Zhang stayed silent as others whispered about needing to perform their best, while some spoke of the Heavenly Blade King's past feats, including slaying a dragon in one strike. The crowd erupted in awe as the legend himself stood tall. One student muttered that their grandfather held the Heavenly Blade King in the highest regard, even higher than the Sea King. They revealed that their own family elders had once tried to apprentice under him, but even they were refused. Hearing this, Zhang only thought to himself, surprised at how certain everyone was that becoming his disciple would be nearly impossible. The students whispered among themselves, stunned. They couldn't believe the Heavenly Blade King might take a disciple, since even top geniuses like Zhang Wushwang and Fei Tian had been rejected before. They reminded each other just how strict and demanding his standards were. Senior Gu coughed lightly to regain order. When addressed, he declared that he would take full responsibility for whatever happened. Zhang, recalling the eccentric old man he had met in the forest, wondered if that could really be the same person everyone now feared and respected. The contrast felt almost unreal. Then came the announcement that this year's trial would include a new rule, the death quota. It meant geniuses from all zones would be mixed together, fighting under harsher conditions than ever before. Shock rippled through the instructors. Some pointed out that this had never been done in the camp's history, warning that throwing so many powerful talents together was bound to create chaos. The Heavenly Blade King addressed the crowd with cold authority, declaring that in every round of the test, 10 people would die. Zhang thought to himself that this new quota meant even if conflicts escalated and he killed someone like Xiao Beihan, it wouldn't matter too much. The burden of guilt would be lessened. Among the other students, panic and fear spread. Some admitted they didn't want to die, while others said they couldn't back out without disgracing their families. Still, they realized the deadly seriousness of this trial. The fighter smirked, convinced this rule had been designed for him. Meanwhile, the chief instructor announced the official start of the camp's entry assessment. Out of the 500 present, half would be eliminated, leaving no room for weakness. The rules of the test were announced. 150 advancement flags had been hidden across the camp. No matter what method was used, only those holding a flag by the end would pass to the next round. Zhang quickly gave instructions to his companions. He told them to search for nearby flags while he would personally handle Xiao Beihan. The order to begin was given, and chaos erupted immediately. Candidates scattered in all directions, fighting desperately for their chance to survive. The Heavenly Blade King's voice thundered above it all, demanding to see the participants' true strength. Zhang, already moving with determination, confirmed his command. Zhang braced himself against the pressure of Xiao Beihan's sword energy. Though powerful, he noted it was weaker than Xiao Yuanwu's, and he had grown much stronger since then. Still, he wondered if he could rely only on poison without revealing the presence of his insect larvae. Meanwhile, Xiao Beihan was confronted by Tang Ying, who reminded him of their agreement to kill Zhang Wushuang after the camp started. She accused him of stalling and questioned if he was secretly afraid. Furious, Xiao Beihan shouted back that he feared no one. Their clash shook the ground, energy flaring violently. Tang Ying revealed herself fully, stepping forward with cold confidence. Xiao Beihan demanded to know what she was planning, while Zhang, watching from nearby, realized she was the same female assassin he had encountered before. As she and Xiao Beihan turned to walk away together, Zhang reflected on the sudden shift in alliances. Tang Ying had clearly struck a deal with him, and though it wasn't clear what they were plotting, it was certain he would soon be dragged into their schemes. Tang Jin's niece recalled her aunt's order to secretly take care of Zhang Chen in the Tanjiao camp. But she admitted her abilities weren't enough to face Xiao Beihan directly. All she could do was borrow Zhang Wushwang's name to stall and delay his movements. Elsewhere, one of Zhang's companions excitedly discovered 2 advancement flags and rushed to show him. Meanwhile, Xiao Beihan dismissed someone offering him a flag, saying he didn't need it. Instead, if they wanted to prove their loyalty, they should help him accomplish something more useful. His follower immediately swore loyalty. Tang Ying, however, thought bitterly that Zhang Chen would have to manage on his own, silently hoping Mu Hankyu and Luo Sandao could protect him. At the same time, another contender, Huang Yangchao, appeared with determination, ready to challenge for his own survival. Back with Zhang, he told his 2 companions to take the flags first while he went off to investigate elsewhere. They reassured him they would help search together. A sudden blast tore through the area, forcing Zhang and the others to shield themselves. The table holding the flags shattered under the impact. Zhang quickly pulled his companions close, demanding to know who was attacking. He asked if the intruder had come to steal the flags. From the light of the explosion, the attacker revealed himself Huang Yangchao. His reputation was well known. Once a promising genius, he had fallen from grace, but his strength was still formidable. Hovering in the air with his weapon glowing, Huang Yangchao shouted that he wasn't after the flag at all. His target was much darker, he wanted their lives. Huang Yangchao unleashed a devastating strike, his energy crashing down like a meteor aimed directly at Zhang and his companions. Zhang quickly ordered the 2 girls to move aside. Summoning his power, dark energy surged from his body, wrapping around him like a shield. He thought grimly that while he could tolerate many things, if they wanted his life, he wouldn't hesitate to respond.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.